well. How are you feeling physically?
I'm feeling good. Feeling good. I think it was certainly a tough stretch for me for a little bit, but spent a lot of time with our trainers and lifting people, and been able to kind of recover a little bit here and starting to stabilize a little bit and feel a whole lot better. So I'm in a good spot.
I think a lot of people notice you wearing that back brace around during games and stuff. What does that do? How does it help you?
It's just a little bit of extra stability. I think it really kind of started when it first really was bothering me a lot, and tried to relax a bunch of the other muscles in there and tried to allow them to recover a little bit. So I've gotten used to playing with it, and so just continue to play with it just as a little bit of extra stability.
Have you had back troubles before? Kind of try to explain.
Yeah, no, I never really had any back troubles or anything like that before. Kind of was just out of nowhere. Ended up getting just a lot of spasms, and kind of was dealing with a cycle of pretty bad spasms every would come back, and then had a good week obviously leading up into Vanderbilt, and ended up not playing in that game, but felt like that gave me enough time to really kind of calm those down and allow my back to kind of settle in a little bit to where it has been, and we're in a good spot.
Did you do something, or did they just come on all at once? Or?
Yeah, I don't know, it kind of was a little gradual. Kind of felt it when we got back in the new year, and it was really kind of more towards the Brown game a little bit, and then kind of from there again it started that's right when SEC play started, unfortunately, and so then kind of from there we were on manage mode and tried to get through, and we knew we had that extended break leading into Vanderbilt, so the goal is to try and do anything you could to get to that, and then see kind of how it turns out, and that's what we ended up doing. So
in your time with Delaware and even at Wake, what's maybe the worst injury you've had, time missed, and how do you kind of stay positive and keep your head up while you see your brothers, out there and you can't help them?
Of course. The biggest thing I'd say would be just trying to stay as positive as possible. I think super proud of the way guys have stepped up and been able to, all across the board we're a little depleted. And so I think everybody's been, trying to take it upon themselves to really step up and help the team as much as possible. And so, as much as I really, killed me not being on the court a couple times, I think you can still impact the game and still impact the team and help with energy and other things like that throughout the game, which I feel like is still such an important part of the game. And that was actually my second game I missed my whole career. The only other one was my first one even against a Division I opponent. We played a Division III team, and I missed it at Delaware. But so that was certainly even more tough that now we're in fifth year, really want to be out there, do everything we can in this last year. And so it was really my first game I'd missed in my career. So
has this situation allowed you to kind of step back and maybe observe more of when the actual game is going on, and have you taken on more of maybe a coach role as well, or been more?
Yeah, I don't know necessarily as a coach, but I feel like certainly has allowed me to get a different perspective, and try to be able to just continue to build people up and things that you might not see when you're on the court. I was able to kind of see that from the sideline, try to be able to help everybody in any way that I could, and I feel like just the biggest thing is just the encouragement. I think just in general, last couple of weeks we've been up and down, and so trying to stay as steady as possible and kind of help everybody with that, I think has been really important.
How difficult is it when you go through something like this to be honest with yourself and honest with coaches and trainers, because you want to be out there, but maybe it's not the best idea?
No, that's been a hard part for me. I've always just been I'm good and I'll give whatever I got, and kind of leave it up to the coach to be like, hey, if he's not performing as well, we'll figure out a way to try and limit him out there. And I just kind of have always been in the mindset of just I'm good and I'll do whatever it takes. So definitely was a difficult part for me, and had a lot of tough conversations with Coach and with Brandon Wells, and tried to navigate this situation as best as possible. And it just feel like we're in a much better spot now, which I couldn't be happier about.
Ansley's really stepped up with your back
Yeah.
injury. How have you seen him kind of thrive in that role? And have you talked to him about maybe how you played? And obviously he's a different player, but do you have any conversations with him about?
Yeah, definitely. I think we both bring, certainly different and unique things to the way that we want to play. And Ansley's done a great job of stepping up. I think, obviously, what people see is the three-point scoring, three-point shooting. He's been able to, knock down some big-time shots for us, certainly. But I feel like, he does a really great job defensive rebounding-wise, and that's been a point of emphasis for us, too. And he might not end up with 8, 9, 10 rebounds, but he makes sure his guy doesn't get it every time, and that that's really helped us, especially in SEC. We're playing teams that are top 10, top 15 in offensive rebounding in the country a lot of times, and so I feel like he's stepped up obviously in knocking down shots, but there's been a lot of other things that people might not necessarily see that we've been super proud of him. He's done a really great job.
Since you haven't been out there as much, what are maybe your perspective from the bench on the struggles these last 4 games?
Yeah, I think we all know we need to do a better job defensively. I think for us, and I think one of the big things is we gotta make people miss, and when they do, make people make tough shots. I feel like we got a little discouraged when some different people were making tough shots, and we feel like that messed with us. Either just the kind of the flow of the game, offensively, defense, kind of a little more uptight throughout this stretch. So I feel like I feel we can do a lot better job trying to really make people miss, not hope people miss, and we'll be able to take a couple of strides and other steps these next couple of weeks defensively, and we're trying to do that, and I think we have the right mindset now. We just got to be able to do it in the games. I feel like we do it a lot in practice as well. We just got to figure out how to implicate what we want to do in the games.
You don't really have a personal connection to Calipari, but just from a player's perspective on the sideline, how was the atmosphere of Rupp Arena like? How was it from your view?
Yeah, it was. I mean, the fans. We know how much it meant to the fans, and that's kind of how we got our experience from it. None of us, like you said, really had a personal experience with Cal, so it was really kind of felt that through the fans, and Rupp Arena was unbelievable, and Rocket really brought the energy for us, and so obviously super disappointed in the loss, but we're excited to get back after it again tomorrow.
What have you seen from Trent? Not necessarily these last few games where you were out limited, but just going back to the summer from where he started to maybe right now.
Oh man, he's gotten so much better, so much better. I think he definitely was kind of in a tough spot because he's trying to learn the 4, and he's never really played the 4 a little bit, trying to also keep being able to play the 3, and so certainly just like any freshman in the middle of the end of the summer is like a whirlwind, and you're super overwhelmed with whatever you got going on, and so I feel like he did a really great job of trying to be able to weather all of that stuff, not get discouraged in what he wanted to do and what he was able to do with his team, and then into the fall he really kind of found a rhythm in practice, and I feel like he's done a really great job of trying to make sure that he's as versatile as possible and be able to help the team in any way he can. And defensively, I think he's really made a lot of strides. He's super strong and definitely faster on his feet than people think. He's definitely able to move his feet really well defensively, and he plays super hard for us, and that doesn't. That's how he's able to really impact the game, and has really made a lot of strides these last couple months.
Andrew, I'm sure you've answered this, but how are you feeling? How's your back?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling great. I think was able to use the week leading up to Vanderbilt, and Unfortunately, I obviously didn't play in that game, but really been able to recover these last couple of games, kind of stabilize, kind of where I'm at, and I've been feeling a lot better.
With Amari, he's been great all season long,
Yeah.
very impactful, but really feels like it was over the last several games, something's really clicked. Have you seen something change with him? Is it an aggression level, or what have you seen from him in practice and in the games?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think after a couple games, coach really challenged both of the fives, BG and Amari, to really step up, especially. Lamont kind of goes down and Kerr's down, and so we need help bringing the ball up and different looks, kind of. And I feel like Amari's really taking that upon himself. It allowed him to get into a great rhythm these last couple of games, and really, offensively been able to be such a threat for us, which is, it's amazing. It just adds a whole new level to what we want to do, and he's just been super aggressive and really great for us.
Would you consider him a point guard?
I mean, he brings the ball up, right? He could count, right?
What about from a scoring perspective with Amari? What have you seen? Maybe not necessarily how he's evolved because he is a fifth-year player, but just what have you seen from him in general? And I imagine you're probably on him a little in practice. What's it like?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, first of all, he's super strong. Always been super, super strong. He does a great job, especially the last couple weeks. I think kind of taking his time more when he gets down low, and really getting to his spots where he knows that he's able to be dangerous. And then I feel like he's done a great job of making sure he's finishing through the basket and to the basket, and not going a hook or something away, and kind of like leaning and going away from the basket. And that's all the stuff that we've talked about all summer and things that we try to work on. And I feel like he's done gotten a little bit more comfortable and really stepped up and been super aggressive and forceful when we needed him to be.
How do you guys keep one loss to turn into two? Because you've been pretty good this year after a loss, doing well. How do you make that happen?
Yeah, I think that's a credit to the players we have and the experience that we have, but also the coaching staff. I feel like we done a great job so far this year about trying to turn the page and understand that it's never as good as it seems, and it's never as bad as it seems. You go through so many different emotions throughout a season, and for me, I think I've been a part of teams where you feel like the season's ending and it's like the middle of January or something like that, and so being able to be a part of a team where we feel like we know how good we are, regardless of how it goes, and we're at this point we really just got to continue to get better, and we know that, and so I feel like we've been able to grow throughout the year and really focus in on things that we want to do and implement that into the game, and so I feel like that's why we've been able to respond game after game so far this year, and we're excited to do it again on Tuesday.
Week after week, you guys have been having some trouble, and you said you wanted to improve in transition defense. Why do you think that's been kind of a struggle for you guys to limit?
Yeah, I think I feel like we've kind of at this point, after games, you reflect on games, and each game it's kind of it's something new that we want to focus on going into the next game. But we got to do a really good job of making sure we don't forget about the things that we've talked about in the past. And so I feel like we, for a long time, the season were really great in transition. I think that came with the way we protected the ball. We didn't turn the ball over a lot, and so as the season's kind of picked up here the last couple of weeks, I feel like we've turned the ball over a little bit more, and maybe not necessarily forgotten about how important transition defense is, but certainly it's something that we got to continue to bring to the forefront and really focus in on as we're preparing for these next couple of games.
Because with the SEC, there's something new to focus on every week, like
Right,
you were
of
saying.
course.
Talk about, Ole Miss, what you've seen out of them.
Yeah, they're a super talented team. Their defense is a little unorthodox. They switch everything and are super aggressive to the basketball. A little unpredictable, send two to the ball sometimes, and so we're ready to go against something new. We haven't really faced a full 5 interchange switching team so far, and so we're excited to be able to attack that in a lot of different ways that we have talked about. And then offensively, they're probably one of the better ISO type of teams that we've played against and have super talented players, and so it's going to be a big test for us on some of the things that we've talked about coming out of our last game, and so we're excited to be able to put that into the test tomorrow and go out, get another road win.
The rotations for the guards have obviously been a huge talking point as of late with the injuries. How difficult is it to find that consistency when you guys are trying to deal with, trying to make it work right now?
Yeah, I think it certainly is a little bit more difficult when you're down a couple of guys trying to figure out the best way to make sure everybody gets enough rest and things like that, especially with how fast we want to play. I think it becomes a little bit more difficult with that, but we know everybody's going to go out there and got to be able to balance fatigue and things like that. And Coach has always, all season done a great job, and I think he's trying to figure that out too, and will continue to do a great job for us in that area.
I think Lamont said that it was your idea with the Carr birthday surprise about a month ago. Just what made you come up with that, and then what have his spirits been like behind the scenes, especially from your perspective? How difficult has this been for him?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was just I just really wanted to try and do something special for him. He's such a big part of the team, and so when it was his birthday, it was actually pretty sad for us. We're all sitting in the locker room, and Carr's like, we all know that we're gonna try and go surprise him, but he's just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go hang out at home, and we're like, all right, we know that you're not, but oh, Carr, have a fun birthday, see ya, man, but we knew, just knew how tough of a time it was for him to have to kind of take a back seat for I guess it's been a little bit over a month or something, a couple months here, and so that's. I experienced it for a week. I can only imagine what Carr's kind of feeling, and so I just really want to try and make an impact on him. We all love and care about each other so much, and so it was really cool, and it worked out pretty well, and he was a surprise, which was awesome.
There was a game about there was a 5-step process that you guys always go through when you lose a game. Can you tell us kind of like what that process is and how you got through it?
Shoot. We obviously just dissect the game. They talk about the things that we didn't do so well. Talk about the things that we did do well. And just reflect on the game. Really. Obviously, we all wanted to win that game. There's always stuff that you can look at and improve on to get better. And we did those things. We're going to do it regardless of the circumstances of the game, how it goes. So, just always got to watch film, go back and just see how you can improve.
What were those things that you saw that you need to improve on after going back and watching it?
Transition defense. That's kind of big. The biggest thing all year. Just getting back in transition, stopping the ball, declaring the ball. So, those are the things that we know we have to do every single day. I guess we just didn't do it last game.
How much, speaking of transition, how much are you guys reliant on getting those stops and turning that into transition offense for you guys to go and score the points that you want to score?
It's huge. I just feel like we're going to score on offense regardless if it's transition, half court. So, any chance that we could get in transition is a bonus, really. So, I just feel like our defense has to kind of set up for offense. Because, in this league, we'll take as many quick points as you could get. So, I think for us, our defense kind of sparks our offense, and we have to get back to that.
You guys are a little shorthanded in the guard position. Can you talk about some of those other players stepping up and how that's been handling it as a team?
Yeah, we just preach next man mentality. Obviously, wish everyone was out there, but we just gotta be ready. Like whoever is called, gotta be ready, and we all practice the same amount. Like even if the guys that don't play or at the end of the event, so all practice for the whole practice. So like they're always ready. They're in shape. They know what they have to do. They know all the plays. So it's just always next man up. And even the guys that's been playing, like Colin, TP, Trent, like they've been doing a great job just coming in, having high energy and stuff like that. So, just have to keep on a certain level.
Do you think that, helps strengthen the bench? Because that's something you guys pride yourself in a lot, is the depth of this team, getting those guys those minutes, even though it's kind of unfortunate to be without Carr and Lamar.
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, we're deep already, so just having those guys too that are ready that are going to go out there and play hard, make shots, just up the tempo. It just adds even more to our roster.
How important is it for you guys to get Kobe going? I know he tries to create some shots, but they're on him defensively so tight. Sometimes he has a hard time getting shots. Is there a way to create more shots for Kobe?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for him because, he's the best shooter in the country, so, like, everyone's, like, sticking to him. So, it's just, like, we have to do a better job of cutting because if we cut hard, obviously that's going to shake up the defense a little bit, cause some movement, and, like, get him a little more gaps. So we just have to work. We just have to work hard, cutting hard, and just moving faster on offense. Like, I feel like when we're stagnant, it's easier for the defense to just, like, lock in on him and, like, kind of like keep his movement still. So we just have to start moving faster with better pace.
Obviously, you can't take any game lightly, so talk about what you've seen out of South Carolina despite the season they're having.
Sure, I haven't even looked at South Carolina yet, if I'm being honest.
Or sorry,
Ole Miss.
I'm thinking way of.
Yeah, obviously, Ole Miss, they're a good team. They're physical, athletic. They like to do iso ball a lot, so they're probably going to test us, like safety ball, stuff like that. So we just preach whenever a team does that, it has to be 1-on-5 instead of 1-on-1. So we definitely watch a lot of film on them. Just all what they like to do. So we just have to just take a stand when it comes to defense.
You guys have been good after losses this year. What do you think that is? Does it get your attention more? What do you guys have to do to not let one loss turn into two?
You kind of just said it, like our coaches keep on preaching, and even us, like we don't want one bad game to become two and then 2-3. Like we gotta turn the tide eventually. It's all about how you respond. Basketball is a bunch of ups and downs. So, I mean, it's not always gonna be great, so you just have to bounce back and make sure you just stay even keeled. Because once you get too high too low, that's when you become sort of consistent. So we just have to.
You guys have had your ups and downs, playing on the road. How much do you think it plays an effect of these tough SEC environments?
It's hard and challenging for sure, but those are like the best wins. So, I mean, you just want to go out there and just play as aggressive as you can. You got to be extra on point because obviously you're on the road and like the environment's against you. So, I mean, it's definitely challenging, but it's always a great environment to go in there and come out with it.
How much did the noise and the drama of Saturday kind of impact you guys with, all the cameras on one tunnel and none on?
I don't even think it impacted us for real. It was like, obviously, it was a really cool environment, just seeing how live everybody was and how into the game. And there were so many things that we just could have done to win that game. Like they hit a lot of shots that they don't usually hit, but like we were still up. Like we were still up in the beginning. I think they came out and they hit like 4 straight threes, and we're still up like 18-12. So like it's just little stuff like that. Even when teams are playing great, like we're still in the game or even winning. So we just have to not let the other team like affect like however they're playing. Like we shouldn't let that affect us. We just got to keep on doing what we do.
How much does putting the event of Saturday behind you guys and like turn the page past that and kind of hit reset going into Tuesday help?
Yeah, it's already in the past now. Like we're all an older group, so we know like you can't get too hung up on one game. Like, we obviously know that Saturday, the past game that we just had was a big game, but it really is what it is. It's on to the next now, so we don't want to lose on this game coming up, so we have to put all our focus on that.
How'd your dunk feel?
I didn't like the way it felt. I feel like I just got it in, really, but I made it. So it's cool.
Coach Pope has talked about maybe just playing some different lineups than you guys are used to because of the injuries to Carr and Lamont and Andrew a bit, and just the challenges that come with that. I mean, just during the flow of the season, how difficult is it to adapt to not only being down those guys, but playing some non-traditional lineups and trying to feel your way throughout that?
I wouldn't even say it's challenging because, I mean, the coaching staff, like, they've done a great job of, like, even before the season started, like, just trying different lineups and like, playing different guys, different people. So we all kind of have a sense of like how each other plays already, even the people who haven't been playing as much. So it's definitely like we obviously just look at it next man mentality, but I mean, we've all played together since the summer. Like, we've already built that chemistry. We know what each other like to do, what they don't like to do. So, now we're in the heat of conference play. So, whatever lineup is out there, we just have to go out there and just play as hard as we can.
Is that another thing where just this team being so experienced, you having a couple college basketball seasons under your belt, that helps you maybe adapt to when adverse lineups or adverse situations hit?
100%. We play with so many different guys, so many different types of players that you just kind of pick up and know like how to adapt quick. And if you want to win, you have to adapt quick. So that's kind of all it is. Like we're older groups, so we know that like we just have to be vocal, talk to the younger guys that are out there when they do get out there. So just have to keep on talking.
You guys have bounced back from losses. You've done a good job of that this season. Is this loss any different to bounce back from?
No, not at all. Like, you just got to respond. It's all about how you respond, really. Like, you can't get too bent up on one game. You can't put all your focus on a game that passed already. So, I mean, we're on to the next. Like, we have to win the next game, so we have to put all our focus.
When you looked at the video of the game, what did you see?
Our defense wasn't good. Like, it wasn't good at all, for being honest. It was playing a lot of ISO ball. We weren't in gaps. A lot of stuff that we do, we didn't do. So that's all it is, and it's kind of good because we know that we usually do it. So we just have to make sure we really key in during the game. So we don't have situations like that again.
How do you improve the defense with the window of the season kind of closing so quickly?
Just keep on. We watch film, like we go hard in practice. Like we have a lot of segments where it's just all defensive stuff, and we have all the personnel to be a great defensive team. So that means it's just the little things. And I mean, I know I say little things, and it's really not the little things. Like that wins or loses this game. So just gotta lock in. Kind of starts with us just being in the gap, like I said. Like when other teams see so much space, I mean, it makes them want to do one-on-one stuff, want to get to the basket, and that puts the main defender in like a lot of pressure because they either gotta try and guard them their hardest by themselves, or it's either fouls. So, you just gotta have gaps and just play team defense.
Talking about defense, what do you think the biggest issue is over this, last couple of stretches in games?
We just gotta get back to doing what we do. It's just playing team defense, like make it 1 against 5, not 1-on-1. Get back in the gaps, like I said, and just have like intensity on defense. Really, like have a grit to us.
What'd you make of the game on Saturday? Obviously, you don't really have too much relationship with Coach Cal and his staff, but you could probably feel the energy in the building and kind of learn from some things from Coach Pope and from the fans. So what did you kind of make of the whole
it was great. It was a great environment. I mean, I've seen Rep get loud so many times, but it just felt like it was a little more crowded in there for sure. But I mean, it was a great environment. I'm just glad I got to be a part of it, really.
With all the hype surrounding that game, is there any sort of relief knowing that that's kind of out of the way? Even though you guys weren't able to come away with the win?
No, I wouldn't say relief. I wish we would have won that game, for being honest. But I kind of look at it as any other game that we just didn't get. Unfortunately, obviously, we're going to be bent up about it a little bit. But now that it's passed, let's put it in the bank and then because if we won, it would have been the same thing. Like, we can't still be high on that win and then go to Ole Miss and just be thinking about that win as well. We have to lock in and go focus on the other team.
How comfortable are you in that kind of lead guard role with just the uncertainty with Lamont, obviously indefinite absence of Carr, just kind of you stepping up in a role that you haven't been playing necessarily?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in it because, you just, like when you're a player, you work on all different types of situations. So, just a lot of the work that I put in is just going to have to show it now. obviously Lamont did a lot for us in terms of being downhill, facilitating defense. So, I mean, everyone just has to step up. They have to take a little bit more than what they're used to. So that's all it is, really.
How would you say Jax is stepping up in that role as well?
Big time. He has to be the point guard. He still has to score, still has to defend, the point guard. So, I mean, he's exerting a lot of energy, but he's doing a great job. So, I think he can keep on doing it and keep on being great in that role. So.
What can you tell us about Ole Miss, another ranked team on the road in the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, they're another tough team, fast. They have a lot of good guards, if I'm being honest. Even their big is capable of going to score 20 any night. So, we're just going to have to make sure our defense is going to be really, really tested. And I feel like we just have to come back and respond, really. We know that pretty much every game in the SEC is going to be a top 25 game, so we just have to be locked in.
Do you keep track? Obviously, individual stats aren't the top priority, but do you keep track of your streak, the double-digit scoring streak? Like, do you in the back of your mind during a game go, I'm at 8, one more bucket gets me there?
Nah, I don't really be thinking it because one, the scoreboard is up there, so you can already see it. But nah, I don't even be thinking it like that. I just, when I'm in the game, like I'm just so like locked into what's going on. Like whatever happens, happens, and I just feel like if I go out there and have good energy and just play with a high motor, it's gonna end up whatever it is, which is I guess the 10 point and above. So
where does that consistency come from? Because it is tough for everybody has bad days, but you just haven't seemingly had very many of them.
I mean, always gonna have bad days, but it's just like the game is 40 minutes long. So like if you have a bad half or you can have a bad game, but once it gets to, I mean, the game has to get to 0 before it ends, so you could just always fix it and turn it. So that's how I look at it. Like, just keep on going, keep on having high motor, high energy. And, I mean, whatever happens, happens. You can't control everything. So.
The fact that you have that reputation as that consistent of a scorer each game, what do you think that does to the rest of your teammates in terms of maybe allowing them for more scoring opportunities because you're the top priority for opposing scouts?
Shoot, I just think it makes everyone else more aggressive. I mean, whenever I'm out there, I'm just trying to uplift the energy and make the tempo go up a little higher. So I just hope that just allows everyone to be extra aggressive and makes the energy just better. Because that's my whole thing. I feel like I'm a big energy guy. I just always want to uplift the team. So if that's what my game does, I hope it just brings it out in everyone else too. So.
How do you guys think you've done holding down the fort while Andrews is dealing with the back, Lamont shoulder, ankle, all kinds of stuff? So how do you guys think you've done while you're waiting for the other guys to rejoin the team?
I think we've done pretty well, for being honest. Those guys are key guys. So, I mean, we definitely missed them. We feel the void that they leave, but I feel like we can still continue to do better. Just in a lot of other ways, just defensively, offensively, we could just continue to protect the ball, which they did a good job of doing as well. But I mean, overall, I think we're still doing solid.
Have you ever seen a 7 foot, 260-pound point guard?
Amari, right? Yeah, Amari different, if I'm being honest. Like, I watched it. Obviously, I watched his film when I knew he was coming here, but like when it's really in front of you, it's crazy. He's so forceful and he's bigger than what you really like see on TV and stuff like that. Like when it's in front of you, it's crazy.
You think that has something to do with him, coming from overseas? Because I feel like we don't really make centers have skills like that over here.
Yeah, I don't know if it might be that, but I just think he's different. Like, he's what y'all call, or what we call a unicorn. He go out there, handle it, score it, pass it, defend. Like, yeah, he's a unicorn.
Are there ever times that you guys want to like kind of pull more out of him and be like, you are, could be the most physically dominant big man in college basketball? Are there ever times that you got to be like, what we saw on Saturday against Arkansas is what you could be every single day?
We be telling him all the time, like even since the summer, like I would always just try and like poke his buttons because I know once he get mad, like he go crazy. Like he's just physically dominant over everybody. So I mean, there's always just times in the game like I just say something, just try to get under his skin. Like I nudge him like, when I know he's already like like he's about to get there. I just nudge him to make sure like he gets over that edge. So. I mean, we tell him that all the time, like, bro, you could really be like the best big in the country because we know you are. So like when you just play with that chip and that motor, like it's something special.
What gets under his skin when you're trying to kind of poke the bear? Like what do you say to get him riled up?
I just talk smack to him, really. Because a lot of times, like when we're in practice, we're never on the same team. Like we're always on opposing teams. So I just always talk to him. When we're in the game, like I just always just say a little joke that like maybe we'll get under him, like just about where he's from or something like that. Because we always talk about where each other are from. So I mean, it's just little stuff like that.